We are back with another episode of Talk Miley to Me, and we're going to talk Miley to me and Becky and me.
To all of us.
Yeah, we have actually a pretty full plate today. So I say that we just dive right in because Miss Mylene, she posed for British Vogue. Gasp.
And did so much with it too.
Did so much. I was just surprised to see her doing anything. But we're going to go over the interview, which was pretty lengthy, but I thought we could talk about some of the bigger things that she talked about that were kind of like new things we learned about her, which I thought were cool. We could go into her video with them where she breaks down her looks from 2006 to now, her life in looks, which I loved. I thought that was like
so much. Yeah.
I thought that was so fun. And then she also just released a what's in her handbag video.
I haven't even watched that yet.
I know, I haven't either. Maybe we save that for next episode.
Sure.
I started it, but I did not finish it yet because I gotta pay attention. Like it can't just be background,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
We'll save that for next episode.
Undivided attention.
We'll still have a very full plate. So this cover of British Vogue is for the June 2023 issue, and it's titled Miley Cyrus on Finding Her Peace and Making the Album of the Summer.
The album of the summer. Have we officially declared it that?
Oh, for sure. It has to be.
It has to be. Actually, Rachel and I were just talking about it last night that name another big name that has dropped music recently. No one.
I mean,
like Lana Del Rey did, but she's kind of like not as
Taylor
much
Swift
in the GP.
But I feel like Taylor Swift was
a while ago.
Winter. That was winter.
Yeah.
That was like the song of the winter.
We don't have Ariana Grande. We don't have like Dua Lipa. There's nobody.
It's true.
So yeah, she can take the title of album of the summer.
And it's like a summer vibe. It's literally called Endless Summer Vacation.
Yeah.
And Flowers is still up there somehow.
It is. It really is.
Somehow.
I don't know, but
but I'll take it.
Yep.
Every week we were like, oh, it's still up there. And you're like, I know, can you believe it?
I mean, it's crazy. But I feel like I do hear it like in just public, like on playlists and stuff.
It's a GP fave.
It really is.
So yeah, I'm sitting here wondering, why did she do this Vogue cover? Like, why this one? British Vogue out of all of them? It's because she was photographed by Stephen Meisel. That's probably not how you say his last name. But she only did it because she's been wanting to be photographed by him specifically.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, she made it very clear, which I mean, we'll talk about when we get into it, but she made it very clear like how important fashion is to her, which is something that I guess I never like would have if you would have asked me if, it whatever. It's just not something that I would have like put her as, but when you think about it, like no, she's always out there serving looks. Like she is wearing the top designers or even like underground ones or wearing vintage and honestly, you saw her life and looks like goes back to when she was 13. So it makes sense.
I feel like it especially happened like after. I feel like 2018, 2017 is when she really started like getting into fashion, in my opinion.
Like hardcore, yeah.
Like hardcore, like to where she's like wanting to walk in Marc Jacobs and just like having friendships with these like big designers. But she was also styled by Edward Enninful, and she said they're really good friends. Of course, she's friends with like all the designers and everything. First, before we dive into the interview, we have to talk about her photo shoot because OMG, it was like a random Tuesday.
It really was. She just dropped it on us without any sort of warning.
I was like at work and I got a notification, of course, that she posted.
Yeah,
And I was like, what the fuck
me
is
too.
this?
I was literally screaming about it, shoving it in everyone's face. Look at it. Look at
I
it.
know. Oh my gosh. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I want this framed. I need to buy the magazine. Where do I buy the magazine? Which I still have to do.
I still have to do that too. No, these are like the best photos of Miley Cyrus that I've ever seen.
I agree. Which look was your favorite?
The red. I don't remember exact like that.
Yeah.
I think I've talked about I have that picture of her nude laying
Oh,
on the couch with Kyle Lagerfeld on top of my bed, but I would love to replace it with this picture of her in the red.
for
Obsessed.
real.
So hot. I
And you
love her hair in it.
I do too.
I love the
There was
makeup.
Yeah, there was an article I saw, on their website about how their process of doing her hair,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
I
they
thought was
wanted
really cool.
like to be like voluminous, but like with movement, and they did these like loose curls and used a lot of fans and stuff. Yeah.
She's serving
No,
like Cindy
yeah.
Crawford supermodel 90s look.
You can tell,
Um,
and it makes sense that she specifically did this to be photographed by him, but you could tell in the pictures that she was like enjoying it and enjoying giving these serves.
oh, true. And this one is really cute to me because she's like very happy. I feel like she's just like
Yeah, that
enjoying
one's
herself.
cute. Actually, my favorite is the side shot of she's like pulling that piece of hair down with her tongue. Oh my God, that picture slayed me. That
It's
picture
true.
wrecked me.
Wrecking ball. Yeah, Colton was like, I was showing my boyfriend the shots, of course. And he's like, oh, that's a cool one. Like he thought that was cool. And so
Yeah,
if he thinks it's cool, it definitely is.
the men have spoken.
The men have spoken. I'm not gonna lie though, this one is probably my fave.
Really?
Her waist looks snatched. I
Yeah.
weirdly like I don't even know what to call that outfit though. I
The
weirdly like it on her
green.
though.
The green
I
is
don't,
such an interesting choice of color. It's
yeah.
just different.
I don't know, it goes so well. I love her new, like, hair, like, the underneath, like, the rootiness.
Yeah.
Rootiness, I don't even know what that's but I love it.
No, I love it
Big
too.
fan.
It's like
Um,
some of the prettiest pictures of Miley that we've ever seen.
literally, I'm like, "Which one do I frame?" Like,
I
I feel like
know.
that red one you were talking about, if you got that above your bed, you should get, like, poster size,
Oh, for
like,
sure.
in color, I feel like that would look cute.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Rip to your other photo. Maybe you can put it in your bathroom, though.
Oh,
That
yeah,
that
no, I wanna
that
keep
would
it.
look good in your bathroom.
It would, you're right.
Anyway, um
Redecorating.
for real. Okay, so the interview, what were your initial thoughts just over the whole thing? Because this interview stirred up a lot of drama in the fan base.
Yeah, no, it did. Um, I don't know, it was just really refreshing to read an interview from Miley Cyrus, and I just it's I mean, we talk about how we get, like, a different Miley every era, and this is no different. Um, but, like, once again, it was just, like, another side of her that I don't feel like we've ever heard from before, and you could feel that in the interview as well as, like, watching the videos, which we'll get into the videos afterwards, but, um, no, there was lots in there that I was like, "Oh." And it actually the things that she was saying make so much sense with the era and what we've been going through.
For real, going all the way back to her last live performance.
Yeah.
It was like the last show of the South America tour. I forget
Yeah.
which city, but remember how weird that performance was and just
Yes.
how like I don't know, this like makes sense when thinking about that
Totally.
performance.
No, absolutely. That's a great point. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
what were you thinking?
so like I thought the interview was kind of depressing from a selfish standpoint,
Mhm. I
like
could see that.
everybody else can relate to. But then when I watched the video, I was like, "Oh, so she is kind of having a fun time." Like I feel like the interview painted such a harsh like she didn't want to be there, which I get, but like when I watched the video, it seemed like she was actually having fun.
Yeah, that's a great point. You're right that there is like a really negative feeling to this article, but yeah, in the video it's like yeah, it totally makes it make sense, but in a good way.
Yeah. So that was kind of confusing to me. I don't know if it's, and also the
Mhm.
person that wrote, you know, that writes the article, that has an effect too, because it's not like
Yeah,
Miley
yeah,
wrote it.
yeah, yeah. Right.
Not saying any of it's a lie. I'm sure she did say all of that, but the way you write things can just, you know, it just perspective is everything.
Sure, sure.
Um, okay, so she did get to the interview with 5 men. That's how it kind of starts off.
Yeah, what's that all about?
Okay, so at first I'm like, who are these 5 men? And while I was writing our notes, I found out who the 5 men were. She also calls her little squad of gay men Kiki.
I love that.
So weird.
No,
And that
that's
they
like a
follow
thing.
her.
A
Is it?
kiki is
I don't
yeah,
get it.
a kiki is like when you get together and you like get talk about all the gossip. I only know that
Oh.
because there's a thing about it on Glee. Let's have a kiki. It's like a song.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, okay, that makes sense. I thought you were just being weird. Um,
You
so
know
one of
that okay, never mind. Go ahead.
I what?
Nothing.
What?
Well, I was gonna say she's always like using like the
Exactly, that's what I
the
thought it was. I
yeah,
didn't know there was an actual meaning behind the word.
the lingo.
I didn't know there was a meaning behind that though, like,
Yeah.
how she says "henny," like, that's just a funny saying to me, I think. I mean, maybe there is a meaning. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked. One of them, Stephen Galloway, who's an acclaimed choreographer. Um, Bixen Men, I think that's the director, right? Jacob Bixen
Oh,
Men,
uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
director of all of, so he's in that squad. Bradley Kenneth for Percival
Wow.
Silas. Yeah, it's all coming together now.
Yeah, it really
Um,
is.
and then Bob Right. I never get these names right. Sorry, y'all. Bob Reeson and James Calardos, her personal hair and makeup team. Dude,
Okay.
she is
Of
like,
course she would travel with them as a pack. That's iconic.
but I feel like her thing is like she has to be best friends with them too.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
anyway,
can you imagine the
yeah,
power of that squad walking in a room? I
for real.
think
It's
it
just
would
like
just like I would just collapse.
5 men with mother.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, she starts off the interview saying, like, why would I do British Vogue? Why would I even do an interview? And that she's very curious to why she's even there. So I'm reading this and I'm like, damn, this is like depressing. Nobody's putting a gun to your head. Like, you don't have to do it.
Yeah, what a way to open that up.
I know that. So that was the first thing I saw. And then she talks about her sobriety a little bit,
Mhm.
confirming that she still is sober. She had a funny thing. Well, it wasn't funny. It was, I really liked how she worded this. You can just tell throughout this whole interview that she's very like mature and she's serving 30.
Oh, for sure. Which okay, actually, let's talk about this. The article was like Miley Cyrus 30 and then in parentheses they go, how is she only 30? And when I first read it, I was like, what the fuck? Why would you say that? But I think they're talking about it in terms of how much she's accomplished and done in her life. So it's like, how
No,
can she
yeah.
only be 30 when she's done all this? And not like, she looks like a grandma.
Oh, that's what you thought at
Yeah,
first?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't even get that vibe. No, that I guess, yeah, it could be taken that could be taken a little differently. Um, so the night that it was released, she went up to the club, even though she's sober, and she went and danced to celebrate flowers dropping. And Lil Nas X, who is brought up a lot, I feel like they're close for
Yeah,
sure.
no, they are.
For when we knew that, but she brings him up more than she brought up Max, I'm pretty sure. Um, anyway, I wonder if like Billy Ray's still friends with Lil Nas, or if he chose Miley, or you know, if there was even a side that had to be chosen.
Yeah, that's a great question. Wow.
Um, anyway, so he asked her, "Are you anxious about how successful Flowers is?" And she said, "No, I might be at number 1 now, but number 2 is on its way. Everything is seasonal." Like, damn,
See, and that's another like depressing
damn,
comment.
depressing, depressing. And then she
I
says,
think go ahead.
this was just what else she said. It says many headlines recently have said, "This is Miley's moment." And I'm like, that's exactly what it is, a moment, and it will be over.
Yeah. Well, I think that
Impressive.
she is just very much, what is the word I'm looking for? Like being
Pessimistic.
no, 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 no. Like realistic basically about everything. It's just like she's not
Yeah.
gonna sit here and be like, I'm sitting on top of the world and I'm the queen and will be forever. Like she knows that things like ebb
She's
and
been through
flow and
this. Yeah.
been through this. And that's exactly, I think, why we're having the personality switch that we're having from her. Not switch, but you
Yeah.
know.
Oh, for sure.
It's I think turning 30 has clearly made a huge impact on her.
I swear, because ever since she has turned 30, it's been her reevaluating her life, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's been weird. She did make a little statement about selling souls, which I kind of want to talk about this because I'm like confused. So she did say that when the album was released, she wasn't in LA. She did have her phone on her. Max brings his phone and she doesn't bring hers at all, which makes sense
Yeah.
of why we haven't got any content on the
Yeah.
gram or anything.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, she said, quote, somebody could say it would be this number if you did that, or this number if you sell your soul. I've been in the Garden of Eden before and I've taken the red apple and it never feels good. What does that mean?
I think it means like doing the cash grabs basically to,
Okay.
and growing up, like of course she did that all the time, and it's probably because she didn't really have a choice because they're like, you're Miley Cyrus and you're gonna be huge and you have to sing Party in the USA about this Jay-Z song that you can't turn off. And even though she said that she doesn't listen to Jay-Z, I think that's like an example of what she meant there. And she's
Just
just
wanting
not
to be
interested in
more.
it anymore. Well, remember when she
Yeah.
had that phase where like her background said sell out to sell out? And now this is like
True.
saying the
That's
opposite
true. I think that was maybe that was
because
more
that
like
was
a
ironic
joke.
or
Yeah.
like, yeah, whatever that word
Kind of
is.
dark. Her
Yeah.
merch that time was kind of like dark and grungy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so that's really
Um,
something crazy to say. I mean, she was like,
yeah,
well, and this again is just proving that she does not give a shit about the charts and she's proud of the music that she put out and that's all she cares about, which is honestly how it should be.
for real. Um, she did the big like quote from this interview would be I carried some guilt and shame around myself for years because of how much controversy and upset I really caused. Now that I am an adult, I realize how harshly I was judged. Now, as an adult, I realize I would never harshly judge a child. And I was like, damn.
No,
It's just
because
like fucked up how when
it
you
is.
realize how bad it was.
No, it's fucked up.
And then this was at the end of the interview, but the interview story ends by saying, I know I used to be crazy. I know I used to be fun. You say I used to be wild. I say I used to be young. And apparently that's going to be like a lyric or something from an upcoming song.
It's gotta be.
I
And
think I heard
it's
that,
gonna be so good. I heard that too. I heard that too.
which
And
seems very authentic.
it's gonna go so hard. Yeah.
So yeah, I wonder if it's Endless Summer Volume 2.
I heard that like it's gonna be something completely different and that this endless summer vacation is over. Well, it's the summer is not over, but like it's not going to
Yeah.
be a volume 2. Yeah. No, but like yeah. And we can talk this till the cows come home, but like
Boo.
there's no other there's no other person out there that has been judged the way that she is for the things that she was doing. And like we talk about, like, you see how many girls are naked, just butt ass naked in their music videos now, and it's not the controversy that like everyone's parents are talking about at dinner.
Literally,
Like it
literally
was when
though.
she rode the wrecking ball, or like it was when she was in the cage on Can't Be Tamed. Like, and it's like why was it her? And it's I mean, because she's that big and she's that good and because she's Miley Cyrus. And no,
Yeah,
it's fucked
she
up and it's incredible because she's a child actor that like has not gone crazy. She's a
people
child
like to say
star.
she is, but
They think that
she
she
ha
has, but like look around.
She has not been to jail, like, she hasn't been to rehab.
And usually those things are coming because of, like, the shame and the guilt that they put on these children, and she's, like, somehow been able to overcome that, and look at her, like, 30 years old being able to talk about, like, "That was fucked up."
'Cause it was.
I saw, she made a comment about how someone made a post or a article about her, and the title of it was, like, "Miley's Breakout," and they're talking
Yeah,
about, like, the zits on her face, and she's like, "I was 20 years old. Tell me one person that would not be upset about that. Like, I'm a 20-year-old human."
and honestly, anybody would, like, not even just a 20-year-old,
Anybody!
you know?
No one
Yeah,
ever wants to be, like, pointed that out to, like, "Yes, thank you, I'm aware, and
for
I
real,
was
like,
hoping
I
that
don't
no one
know.
would notice." Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it even back when she was, like, 14 and people were saying that she was pregnant because she'd have, like, a little bloat or something, there'd be, like, a
Yeah.
paparazzi photo, and they'd always say, like, "Miley Cyrus pregnant at 15," like, no,
Fucked up,
and
yeah.
also that's so rude.
It's
Like,
so rude.
you don't go up to someone and say they're pregnant if you don't know, like, that's just fucking
That's, like,
common.
the literal number 1 rule in speaking in life. Like,
Yeah,
the number 1 thing you should never ask is a woman if she's pregnant.
yeah, but
Let
then they
like,
had the
for
audacity.
and that
Yeah,
goes for, like, married women
mhm,
and not even, like, a 14-year-old girl, that's just unheard of.
yeah. Anyway, that's definitely a hill that we would die on.
And that's on being a smiler.
True. We're kinda cringe sometimes. Anyway. Okay, so let's talk about the biggest part of this interview that
Yeah,
really had the
yeah.
whole fandom fucking shook. Okay, so when it comes to her fans, says she's grateful, but says she can't live her life for them anymore. She loves an audience, but not the same way she grew up on. She says, quote, I love performing, but pretty much for them, which is her team, Kiki. She's saying
Uh-huh.
she loves performing for them so that they can probably stay employed and like dress her up and do what they love to do.
Oh, right, right, right.
That's what I got from that. And then she says, quote, like singing for hundreds of thousands of people isn't really the thing that I love. There's no connection, there's no safety. And then the interviewer said, I guess it's pretty hard to people please 100,000 individuals at the same time. And Miley said, right. It's also not natural. It's so isolating because if you're in front of 100,000 people, then you are alone. So what did you, before the spoilers even got bad and you read this, like, what were your thoughts?
I mean, the way that she says that I'm not doing this for or whatever she said that she's wants to live her life for her. I mean, yeah, girl, you've been living your life for us for performing for literally half your life and for
If not
probably
more.
most of your like conscious life, you know, and so like I get it. I mean, and I don't feel like anyone has ever like any of the stars have ever come out and said like how lonely it is to be up on a stage, which and you could say like, "Girl, we're all standing right here pouring our love out to you," but like, no, she's right. Like you kind of are alone. I don't know. I was kind of reading it. I didn't get mad about it. I didn't get like upset. I was just trying to think of her perspective and like, yeah, she's been doing this forever. Like you can't just keep doing it.
I agree with you. I did not get upset either. And also, I thought, would I rather her said that or been fake and been like, I love, like I would have rather had been honest with the interviewer
Yeah.
because, it's not like she does do these things a lot. So
Right.
this is, she's probably just wanted to be her authentic self, which is what
For
I've gotten
sure.
from this. So she's just, yeah, I agree with you. I did see that there were a lot of spilers that were like very upset, like flooding Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm sure you saw that too. And
Yeah.
I get it, but at the same time, like you do have to put yourself in her perspective
Oh, absolutely. Like
the most you can.
just because she's made her career, made her living doing tours, doing concerts, being on stage performing, like, okay, you can't just do you can't just keep doing that if it's making you miserable. It's like, okay, just because you're Miley Cyrus doesn't mean you have to, like, get up on stage and keep doing that. Like, if I don't know, the words that I need are not coming out, but it's like,
I know you, yeah.
you don't have to keep doing it just because you're Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you hate it, like, then what's the point?
Yeah. And so she made a post on Instagram that looks like it was from her notes,
Yeah.
which the top says sent from heaven, and I don't really know what that means. Did you see that?
Actually, no, I didn't pick up on that.
So, like, it looks like it's from the Notes app,
Uh-huh.
and it says at the top left of the screenshot of her note, it says sent from heaven.
Oh, I do see that. That's, like, the folder that it's in?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I didn't really understand that part.
Interesting.
Anyway,
I didn't pick up on
right?
that.
Um, she said, yeah, I'm not going to read through this whole thing because you've definitely seen it, but I do like that she did like respond to it because there were a lot of people taking that as, oh, she doesn't care about her fans.
Right.
And
It's not about that at all, but
I think that the interview probably got twisted a little bit.
I know, yeah.
But oh, so this also goes into her going on tour, which is what, we've all been asking. Is she going to go on tour? The beginning of the interview, she is caught saying, am I going on tour? Yeah, the Amen Hotel tour, singing in the lobby for that complimentary massage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bitch, what? Like, she literally made a joke out of all of us being like, please go on tour. Um, and I think this is another part of the interview that really pissed people off
Yeah.
on top of what she said. And she addressed that in her reply back to everyone. And she says, the archival looks don't fold. She loves using that word now, archival.
She does.
She doesn't want to sleep on a moving bus. It isn't what's right for me right now. And if you've been following my career, you know that I always change, and the way I feel about that could too. I love that she says that at the end because
I
it's
do
like, bitch,
too.
we be joking with you changing your personality every 2 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's so true. But no, the thing where she goes, "I don't wanna sleep on a moving bus," again, she's been doing that since she was 13. She's
Yeah.
sick of
So
it.
she's sick of it. She doesn't have to do it anymore.
I knew in my heart that we wouldn't see her on tour. I just
I
can't
agree.
even picture what a tour would look like. I can't picture her getting up and doing, like a choreographed tour. It's just not her style anymore.
I agree.
I think just the one-off performances where she gets to get up there and have fun is what means more to her. I mean, even if it's not like her favorite thing, than going on a tour every single night.
Yeah.
So, like,
No,
yeah, I mean, it was like sad, but I knew it was coming.
I wasn't surprised.
Yeah, not at all.
Um, yeah, and then I did look at the comments on that Instagram, and like most of them were supportive. Some of them were a little critical. They were like, "Oh, tell that to your fans that have to work 9 to 5s." And like, it's just like you can't really compare apples to oranges there because it's like it's not you can't even. I don't know.
No.
Just
I mean,
like
that's another thing too. Like, if you're miserable in your job, okay, do a new one. Quit.
yeah, and
And
that she's yeah.
you know,
Um, so anyway, I think that did help though some of the fans' response to this interview.
didn't she
Um,
say something in that post that she's just on her endless summer vacation?
oh yeah, she ended it saying, "Love you forever. I'm just on my endless summer vacation," um,
Someone
which
I
it's so
remember
funny.
I know. I remember seeing on Twitter around the time when we were all getting grumpy about there's been no press, there's been no interviews, blah, blah, blah. And someone's like, all of this is going to make sense soon. And here we are.
It didn't,
What?
or it did make sense. It's
Yeah.
because nothing's actually happening.
But she's on her endless summer
No,
vacation.
because people were like, "Oh, they're not promoting it for a reason. There's something big coming."
Oh,
That's what I
oh,
thought you meant. I was like,
oh. You're right. You're right. I guess I did say that backwards, but no,
And
it's
it,
just
it, it
there's
really
nothing to
is.
hide here. She's just simply on her endless summer vacation.
um, yeah. So who knows? Maybe we'll see her be on a tour one day when she's like 40. Um,
I'm happy to see her on her endless summer
me,
vacation.
me too. She deserves it.
She's 30, she deserves it. Yeah.
We did learn a little bit about her and Max's relationship and that they were put on a blind date, but it was blind.
Yeah.
It was blind for Miley, but not for Max.
I mean,
Probably because he had to sign like an NDA or something.
that's true.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh, they
That's so
probably.
fun.
And
Oh
then he
yeah, and
called
he
her
texted her.
mid-interview. Yeah, and her phone started playing. And first of all, of course, Miley would have an audio be a ringtone. Like none of us has ringtones anymore, but of course she would have a ringtone. Do you know this song Tyrone by Erka Badu?
No.
Yeah, maybe we should look it up. Anyway, she says, I call that boyfriend sexy ringtone. So
She's
funny.
funny.
She also works with amazing healers, and she's been recently doing eye movement memory link trauma therapy a little over a year ago. And she talks about how she has chronic pain and inflammation, which
Yeah,
descends
who
whenever
knew?
she's yeah, for real. And then I guess she had a flare up after the album came out, and she was in a lot of pain.
And we literally did anybody know this?
Nobody knew this until now.
That's crazy. Poor girl.
I know. So she's been going through it for sure.
And we act
Anyway,
like we know all these things, you know.
we do, but that's part of our brand. um, I think we should wait until next episode to go into that life and looks.
In the videos, sure. Yeah. Yeah, we could
We could do
maybe
both of
do
those together
both of the videos. Yeah.
because Lord knows we ain't gonna get anything else.
She's on vacation.
Oh, also, guys, next episode, I will have not a new nose. I'm not getting a nose job, but my septum will not be deviated anymore.
Woo!
I get surgery done this Friday. So it all kind of evens out to where the next time we record, I should be good enough to, do an episode.
And she did this on purpose. For
I planned
you.
this.
We planned this
I,
for you.
I,
Yeah. Everyone's favorite.
I'm cackling right now. You do it the best, actually. I just do that as my ringtone. Every time you call me, I want to hear, yeah.
I call that podcast sexy ringtone.
Oh, sexy ringtone. That's so funny. Also, this past weekend was Becky's birthday, and we celebrated in Chicago.
We celebrated. Yeah, and we made a music video to Violet Chemistry, and you should go watch it because it's really fun and sexy.
Check it on the socials. The Instagram one is better because TikTok didn't have like a longer version of the sound, and if I posted it without with anyway copyright issues. So the Instagram one is the better one. So go check it out. The better one. But yeah, we had fun in Chicago, and
it feels like it doesn't have. I mean, we saw each other 3 days ago. That feels like a lifetime ago.
It does. It's been a long weekend.
It's been a long weekend.
Happy Memorial Day. We are popping our pussies for those who served. Yeah, that's all I said yesterday. At the Cardinals game.
Oh God.
Make sure to follow us on the gram and rate our Spotify podcast page 5 stars. Give us 5 of those little motherfuckers. Not anything less, just don't even leave a review.
Yeah.
Only 5. Anything else, Becky?
I would love to know y'all's thoughts on these things because I feel like this is it could be polarizing. I mean, we've seen different opinions on Twitter, and I feel like I have said in the past, like I feel bad for the rattiness and for the haterness that I feel like we've been showing, but
But we
I'm
love
sorry.
her.
We love her.
Yeah.
I just feel like I get riled up by Twitter.
It's true.
I
It's
really
not
do.
good for the
That's
psyche.
that's one of my toxic traits. But no, I'm
Mm.
so excited to see her living her best life. And I hope you all do the same. Live your best life.
Yes.
Live for
Bye.
you.
Love you.
Love you.
Thanks for listening to Talk Miley to Me, your favorite Miley Cyrus fan podcast. I'm Molly.
And I'm Becky.
It's like being in a group chat with your best friends.
When you're not listening, catch us on Instagram at Talk Miley to Me Podcast, on Twitter and TikTok at Talk Miley to Me, or you can watch our podcast on YouTube at Talk Miley to Me.
Talk to you soon.